So I'm extremely delighted and excited to be here to talk with you with this opportunity. So when we say horizon, this is a limit we perceive or see, isn't it? So if we apply this as a metaphor to all the aspects of your life, if it is social, cultural, educational, creative, philosophical, it becomes very interesting. And that is what I'm going to talk to you today. Certain moments in my life, it made me push the boundary and go to the next level. So let me start with a phase in a life cycle of somebody where there are no boundaries. It is beyond horizon. That is creativity, quirkiness, the way we interact, unpredictability, naughtiness, boisterous. These words come to you when you are, in a childhood phase, right? That reminds me, I'm going to talk a small story what my son wrote at the age of 5. And his name is Avan. He's 20 years old now. So he wrote a story of an ant, A-N-T, ant, living in the Wankhede Stadium in Bombay, which is a cricket stadium. And he actually he likes to eat the chalk powder of the boundary line. And he lives on that with his family. Okay? But the moment Sachin Tendulkar comes to bat, the entire stadium will say, Sachin, Sachin, and this ant will say, Sachin, you should get out. We'll pray for Sachin to get out at the first ball. The whole story is if his mother will not allow the ant to be on the boundary line because Mr. Tendulkar will always put the bat down at the boundary and the ant will die. This was a story which he wrote at the age of 5. And then I loved the story. Everybody loved it. But when I showed him after when he was 10, he said, oh, this is what I wrote. What a bad story. So I knew that his horizon has moved. He's gone into a different level of, his thought process. So that was what I was always people say, child's mind, you have to be like a child's mind, curious, inquisitive. Now talking about my personal life. Everyone in this room who's hearing me, I'm sure that everybody has a professional goal to become. Engineer, doctor, pilot, whatever profession you want to do. So my mother was a professor. I wanted to become a professor, of course. So I decided my journey. Before that, I happily flunked all my engineering and medicine entrance examinations. So I decided to pursue my dream. That dream was my mom's dream for me to see a white coat and walking down the hospital corridor. So I decided to go and follow my mom's steps. But luck by chance, after my master's in environmental science, which was also roadless travel, I studied in a college where it was a boys' college, 3,000 boys and 3 girls. What a ratio, right? From there, I wanted to become a professor. So that's what my teaching was. But the luck would have it. I got into a media scene where I was actually working as a production assistant in one of the regional satellite television. That was unheard of that time. So my job was to talk to people, network, collaborate, getting things done, and ensuring that also be communicated to the press. Understanding that, I studied environmental science, and my husband says what I have done to the environment is increase noise pollution by talking and talking and talking in my life. So this is where I'm talking about the professional arena. I decided to work, but heart of heart, I realized that I have got a certain kind of a quality, which always my family used to call me like I'm life of the party. So this is where I talk and make people laugh and network and ensuring everybody is in the same plane. That is my inner strength and inner quality that I can talk to a person at any point of time. From 6 to 60, I can make friends. So that was my professional goal. But part, when I was walking towards a professional journey, my creative horizon just opened up. So the professional horizon, you are working in an organization where your common conversation and your core purpose was communication. But heart of heart, at the same time, I got into an opportunity to work, to start a quiz show, which is also communication. That you are talking to Malayalis, right? We love gold. So my show was like 5 questions, correct answers, 1 gold coin. So I then realized 1,000 episodes I did till 2002. I have not seen any of my participants. It's all just a voice. Chechi, I'm so and so calling from this place. From that to ensuring that program, and then I realized that I also had opened up a creative horizon. A person who coming from a Thrissur town with not seeing camera or lights and the action word made my life into a different strata altogether. That is when I became a quiz anchor, then followed by I should talk about the experience horizon I had in my life. The experience when I talk about, after quizzing, I knew most of my journalist friends said that, hey, you cannot be typecast as a quiz anchor. You should do something different. And that's where I decided to do something which is called Sanjari, those times in India Vision, the first woman traveler. That is an experience that made me much more calmer as a person because you're going to union territories, Chhattisgarh, Andaman, Sikkim, so many. And those times you should understand Google is not so great that time because we all just started developing. You guys are all lucky. I never had Google in my life. If I need to get some information, I need to walk to the library. So those times, that was an interesting experience I had, and that opened up a arena of opportunities, make me more started relating to the stories of people. And that experience had also ensured me to do different types of TV programs, and I'm pushing my boundary. At the same time, my communication job, being a corporate communication professional, continued. When I talk about experience horizon, I can always talk about something which we all experienced and decided to do difference and wonders in our life, because when a 1.2 millimeter micron, which is called coronavirus, started dictating our lives, we became expert chefs. We started communicating over Zoom. Highest number of patents were filed from India during those times. So there are people who made a difference even when we were, in a different stages of life, and which we call as a pandemic. For me, what was experience? Okay, fine. So television anchoring, you have got so many programs you have done. You have done celebrity interviews, which also had started doing from multiple channels. I've been doing stars from all the industry. It was easy to go through and I have a job. But now what? What is that I should do experience more? What the millennials experience? YouTube. So that is where I decided to start on September 2022, I think, yeah. This helped me a lot and opened up talking to 100 plus YouTubers who has done fabulously well in this space. They are teaching me. It's a reverse mentoring for me. So my boundaries were just, diminished between. It became a reverse mentoring exercise. It became a new digital media, what to do, what not to do. So I definitely want to tell you at this point of time, the horizon that we need to have, I'm sure everybody has got a creative passion. How to bring that and make sure that multitasking should be a point of life. This will definitely help you to become it's professionally, you definitely will, go into this next level, whatever you want to do, go abroad, work for MNCs, but side by side, creatively, what is that you do really want to do? For example, this event, I know this is done by all the students which came together from different portfolios. The entire system, they were coordinating it. That is not their day job, but they did it something about a passion. And that passion, you need to find really the fine path of it. So from the experience horizon, I want to talk to about social horizon. You know how the advent of social media has helped us. I'm not talking about the negative part of it, but positive part of it is that you sitting here can talk to a person in Brussels having the same problem. You can converse around where is Arikombat now, with complete set of people talking in where, when, how. You can talk about so many conversations, especially for women. I have seen for the mental health, even for men. The part of groups we are actually got included to. It opened up a wide, arena of things coming together. And this is what I thought about when ensuring the social horizons and the kind of feedbacks I get. Usually when I started in television, I used to get a letter from a Malabar or from Trivandrum or from Kottayam that I'll get it after 3 weeks when I go back to the studio. Today, within 1 minute, Chech, I did not like this. Chech, this should have been done. Why don't you interview this person? So it is an interactive social interaction happens and people becoming more friendly with me. because we are basically not. I'm from a bigger frame. I'm in a smaller frame, and I'm in his pocket in mobile phone. So it becomes extremely friendly mode of. So throughout my life, I've seen that, the boundaries I've pushed, traveling for my job, I've seen multiple experiences being imbibed into us. And that becomes, for me personally, I've become a calmer person. I hope my family also, agrees to it. But interestingly, how that person would have reacted with the same problem. So talking about that, and now, what I'm doing now is another interesting phase that it's like you can call it the reverse horizon. How will I think, and how certain things which has made me think about when I was 20 or 21. So this is where so recently when my son was asked who is your best friend, and he said my mother. So it's actually when somebody asked me also who is your best friend now, who are you without a business card, I have to say I'm a good friend to my 20-year-old son. So during the pandemic, we decided to start something for making our senior citizens in the family. It never occurred to me that this is going to be a super successful Insta influencer. I never thought in my distant dreams. But once he decided to put that in one of my Instagram account, and after some time we saw some 35,000 views. So I said, why not we make it? And right now, I'm so happy that so many women around come and tell me, when I feel depressed, Rekha, I see your mom and son videos. This is basically a reverse mentoring answer, because I am trying to think like how my son would think, our son is thinking, what kind of activities, what kind of perspectives he carries. So I remember when I interviewed Mr. Mammootty, the megastar, I asked him a certain question, sir, when you act with kids, what do you usually prepare? So he said this in Malayalam. ഈ കുട്ടികൾക്കൊക്കെ സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ആയിട്ടൊരു വ്യക്തിത്വമുണ്ട്. ആ വ്യക്തിത്വത്തിന്റെ കൂടെ നമ്മൾ നിൽക്കണം. ഈ കുട്ടികളാണ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് മാറ്റി വെക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. So it's a very interesting, because how he acted with all kinds of the kids of all kinds of ages. He at that level deciding to look at the way a kid would react. So that was a great experience for me. So these are the experience horizon is what I thinking. There is no boundary to me. It goes across and on. That a person, when I'm interviewing a star or an eminent personality, his or her best answer give me a next question. However, I try to learn 25, 30 questions. I will be preparing through my homework and research and everything. But the way this experience comes to you, and you can talk about it in a better, in another occasion, or even to imbibe in your life. That's what I make it a point. Whenever even when I interviewed an 18-year-old girl, 18 and younger to my son, I am like super excited. I mean, it's like a lot of learnings from her, how she came in, how she did this. She just went off, that's the way I was like, oh my God, I'm not so agile like that, So everywhere I just wanted to push. An experience is basically a horizon, is never a boundary. I'm bringing back the topic, but I always felt everything has got a learning. And I tell you that learning or experience or horizon or whatever you call it, the journey is not important. I always make it sure that path is more important. The way you can fail, the way you can learn, and certain things which we definitely know. This is, for example, car driving. I took my car driving license. First day I took the car, I hit a guy. He was in the hospital. After that, I have stopped driving. So that is an experience I don't want. The other great experience I had was in Costa Rica. There's a zip lining between two mountains. Everybody got through. I got stuck in the middle. I saw death that day. But then somewhere someone could help it. So there are certain things which is meant for us. Certain things is basically makes you more stronger and calmer. And talking about the path, I always enjoyed that journey to the next, what you call the goal in your life. And always people ask, where do you see 10 years from now? I don't see 10 years, 5 years. I just want to say that moment matters. And how do I ensure that best when I meet a person, what am I getting it back to? How can I imply that to my next level of engagement with a star or in my office? So this is where I bring in. And I think even in the path, this is specifically from a person who completed 25 years in television. I never looked at gender never looked at even for me, my height, my color, my height, weight or fat content, nothing matters. For me, content mattered every time, and that is what you make sure that the way we have to be seen and heard, it has to be with the content, and we definitely say content is the key. Thank you very much.